Good day and welcome to Psych Sense, where we make sense of mental health. I'm Ken Mallon, your host, and today we're going to be talking to Amina Labrador, one of my classmates. After the end of finals last fall and before the winter break, I met with Amina in one of our Notre Dame ndnu classrooms to talk to her a little bit about herself and how she chose to pursue graduate education and what her plans were for the future. I kicked off the conversation by asking her to tell us a little bit about herself, including her background.
My name is Amina Labrador. I'm a first-year graduate student at Notre Dame de University in Belmont, California, and I'm doing clinical psychology. I have a really varied background. I did undergrad in industrial design and English and creative writing with a minor in visual arts, and worked in editing, I worked in graphic design, I worked in product design and copywriting.
She seemed pretty happy with her career, so I asked her what changed.
And I was sort of floundering as to what to do with my life and how to feel purposeful.
I was also curious if there were any life changes that influenced her.
What actually happened was I got married, and I couldn't figure out how to build a functional relationship with my new spouse. There should be strategies for this sort of stuff. And in the course of me sort of doing a lot of reading and a lot of self-examination, and all my other friends getting married and going through the same process, I realized that I really liked talking to people about their relationship, really getting into the meat of how human relationships function and how they can get better at doing those things.
I then asked her a little bit more about her motives. I wondered how much of her desire to pursue graduate training in psychology had to do with her career advancement versus pure altruism.
I think humans are fundamentally selfish, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean, we look for the things that make us happy. I really do think that the best thing you can do with your time is to find something that lines up your needs and your material needs and your altruism and the things that you want. And I think making other people happy is one of the best ways to make yourself happy.
One of the things I always like to ask people that are going back to school is a little bit about their college selection process. How did she choose Notre Dame de Nemours, and what were some of the factors that influenced her decision?
So I decided to go back to school right around now, last year. And I had a couple of requirements. One of them was that it had to be close to where I lived. There was kind of a price point that I had to hit. And I wanted a program that had sort of a certain set of principles attached to it. And the ndnu program seemed to have all those things. And as I spoke to the department chair, it became evident that the same things that I thought were important in that program were the same things that she thought were important. So I felt really at home here.
Then I asked her a bit about the classes she took in the fall semester, how many years she's expecting to be in the program, and how she wants to apply her training.
I'm a full-time student right now, but 3 years of schooling is the goal. I'm taking 3 classes, and I'm also doing a training outside of school for sort of my personal interest area, which is sex therapy. And I eventually want to be a sex therapist, which doesn't mean that I have sex with clients. Everybody asks. A sex therapist just does talk therapy on sexual topics. I'm especially interested in sort of vulnerable populations, so LGBTQ+, polyamorous people, kinky people, sex workers. Those people need the same amount of mental health services that everybody else does, and they tend to be afraid to seek out all kind of healthcare professionals because of stigma.
One of the things that struck me so much about Notre Dame de Nemours was the diversity of the students. So I asked Amina a little bit about her classmates.
I've met people coming straight out of undergrad. I've met people who are transitioning careers like me. I've met people who are transitioning careers in their 40s and 50s. I've met people who are starting class now that they're sort of empty nesters. I mean, this is California. It is already kind of a diverse place, but even so, I feel like I've met people from a lot of backgrounds, both professional backgrounds and personal backgrounds. And that's been a lot of fun. I like being exposed to people who are different from me. It's challenging.
Finally, we closed by talking a little bit about the future. I wanted to learn a little bit more about the 2 classes she's planning to take this spring.
I'm taking 2 courses next semester. I'm really looking forward to them because I'm taking pathology with a professor that I really like, Dr. Pilkey. Once I'm done with pathology, that means that I can start working in clinical environments, even if I'm not doing practicum formally, and I'm really excited about that. And I'm excited about the family systems class because it's going to be my first therapeutic framework course. I hear it's intense.
And thank you for watching Psych Sense, where we make sense of mental health. I'm Ken Mallon, your host, and I look forward to talking soon.